Yeah, I can hear you good. G'day, everybody. We're live. We're doing an impromptu today, outside interview with the amazing Sahara Dewey, and we're here to chat about her book, The Art of Self-Loving. And I think now more than ever, this message is really important, and I can't wait to hear all about what motivated you with writing the book, Sahara, and your insights, which are, it's an amazing book. I love it. I've really enjoyed reading it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah, the reason why, and in fact, when I started, I wasn't writing a book. I was realizing that I needed help myself, and I came from a place, reading all the books, you name it. I'd do the course. Someone to go and stand on your head upside down and naked. I would have done it to feel better, and I realized that everyone was saying, well, you need to love yourself, or you need to, I'll go that way maybe. You need to love yourself. But I didn't know what that meant. It sounded like the most foreign concept to me in the world, because I was coming from a place of not even liking myself. In fact, quite of self-hatred at time, and I was doing all the spiritual stuff and trying to find my way, and everyone was saying, oh, you just need to love yourself. I was like, well, great, that sounds easy. So I have been known to throw a few tantrums with that one and throw a few books on the floor and say, well, what the hell would you know? And it came to me that maybe other people may be struggling with that same concept, that to be told to love yourself when you're coming from a place where you're suicidal or you're depressed or you've got no self-love or self-worth whatsoever, then you need guidance. And I wanted to make it something that was so easy, because I'm really impatient. And I've got about the patience of a gnat. And I wanted to do things that I could do every day, that could help me every day, but then help other people. So you didn't have to sit around contemplating your navel for 5 hours. You just, we need things that are really, in this day and age, very self-caring, very quick, very effective, so that we can navigate the energy that we're dealing with at the moment, particularly. Yep. But when we're in a place of self-doubt or low self-worth, or you're depressed, or as I was, I was suicidal a lot of the time, unbeknown to people, because, I put a lot of, the mask on, as we all do.
Yeah.
And so I just found these ways that I thought, well, maybe this will help other people. As it is helping me learning. And I still haven't learnt it. I'm still practicing. I've realized it's a daily practice to honor yourself, to find out where you can say no to people when everyone else wants you to say yes. That's a real key.
That's a big one.
To set boundaries when people don't like you setting boundaries. All of those things that we need to do. And that's about love. And I'm realizing that as I've gone on with my journey, is that it's like blowing a gale. I'm about to take off like Mary Poppins. So it was like my journey was, well, it's about making sure that I'm looking after myself, so that then we can go and do what we need for everybody else. In this day and age where there is so much pressure, there is so much outside on, and we need help to be stable or stay centered as much as we can.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the book. You've got so many different aspects, to it, and it is a really great guide to the art of self-loving. And you can pretty much pick up, like you can pick out a page, and even after you've read it, you could more or less pick out a page and go, oh, I'm going to open to this, and that'll be a message for me. So there's a lot of relevant tools in here, and I love the exercises that you offer at the end of each chapter too. That's a great idea. And it's really interesting. This morning I picked it up and I went to the the money, in abundance. And I just posted this, on my page saying, how a resistance to allowing ourselves to be abundant. And, it's all a byproduct of how we're sensing ourselves as to what we receive, isn't it? Like, or how we feel we deserve.
Absolutely. And not taught, well, most of us haven't been taught how to say, yes, I accept, I receive, thank you. Most of us do this when I say your hands like this, and then you're doing this, and you're saying, yes, no, but no. And then the universe gets quite confused because it's going, did you want that or not? I'm not quite sure whether you wanted the red Ferrari or the blue Mustang, because you're really confused. So, we have to learn about saying that we're worthy enough to accept, because I think the majority of people, we haven't been taught how to say, yes, I am good enough to receive. I am worthy of being loved. I'm worthy of abundance on all levels. And for all of us, me included, I think that's a daily practice where, some days we're on the floor sobbing in a corner. And other days, you drive saying, I've got it, minutes, I'm okay. And, I think what I wanted the book to be was, like you say, something that people could pick up at any spot and find a gem in there, or something that is going to help them with their journey. And then the exercises were, because I'm all about, well, give me something to do. I don't like, I have to have something to do that's really practical, because that's how I am. And I believe that a lot of people were needing that practical access to things that they can use really easily. And I like to make people laugh, so it swears. Disclaimer: it's got the F word in it because I'm a swearer.
I love that. I can relate to that. I'm on board. It's just a word at the end of the day. Yeah, I say to people, like, if you take offense to something, like, just be, it's a word. And I remember, because my mum was always very much like, you didn't swear. And I'm like, you know what, if they just put it in the dictionary, it wouldn't be a big deal and no one would really care about it, like, really, it is just a word. And if it's a trigger, then I think sometimes we've got to look at that and go, where's that from? Because for the most of us, it is just a word, really. But Frances, hi, Frances from Nana Goon. She's on today, and she was actually following on with your insights there about saying no. And she said, why is it so hard to say no? I love that one.
Really question. We've just been conditioned that if you say no, if you're like me and you were brought up a good girl, the good girl complex, and that you've got to be good at everything. Saying no means that you might have to let someone down, or that someone might not like you, or if you're a people pleaser like most of us are, then saying no is the worst word in the world. And actually, so what happens is we continue to say yes to everybody else, and we never say yes to ourselves. And so I think it's just turning around and starting to say, well, as I say no, and I always say, start with the little no's. Like, don't go into the Christmas party, the Christmas family dinner, and start trying to do mountain leaps. Everybody can just F off. No, start with a little, can't do that today, and have a really good excuse. And my ex-husband used to say to me, say I've got other commitments. And it kind of, generally people aren't going to ask you what your other commitments are. So it's about changing the focus from everybody else and everybody else's interests to you and your self-care. That's what I think. And the more you say no to people, the more actually you're worthy of their respect, and then they learn that they go back to you, and it kind of goes back and forth. But it is hard. It's very hard to say, particularly to the people we love the most, or the closest, to our children or our partners or our families. To say no to them when you get that look is really, it's a challenge. So I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's amazing how I know I've done a lot of work on that myself. Like, we do tend to be over explainers. So when we sit or we come from a space where we just say, no, sorry, I can't, people don't actually question. It's really bizarre because when you start it, you're not that comfortable with doing it. So you expect them to question you. But, I feel like even energetically, when you stop explaining and you just sit in that space of, I'm going to say no here, it kind of, the reflection of that is people, they go, oh, okay. And they're actually quite okay about it. And I think that's really powerful.
I agree. I think you're right. We kind of sit as people are going to respond in a certain way. And of course, that's putting that energy out there to start with. And we've got to realize that, most people are okay with if you start to say no. And those that aren't, well, they need to kind of, take a back seat a bit, and we need to be a bit stronger. I know I did, as I started to put boundaries up with people, it was really, they were shocked, I think. So they were like, she's never done. And so, they'd push back even harder. So I had to push back hard. So it's just it's a real balance, a learning. It's a learning, but there's so much going on for people at the moment. We're in such unprecedented times that saying no and putting, even if it means you just can have 5 minutes for a cup of tea or a glass of wine or a glass of whiskey, which is my preference, then that's going to help you. That's going to help you through the day, really.
Definitely.
It's so funny,
and it's
as we're speaking about boundaries, I'm currently down in Geelong waiting for my son to have his driver's license, and I'm laughing, thinking, well, kind of, it's at the same time as I'm being interviewed. So there was no boundaries. So sometimes, it is about just doing it on the run. And as you can see, this is hilarious. I'm standing in the car park at the Victorian Vic Roads trying to do this.
Well, we'll all be cheering him on when he comes back, going, yeah, he's got his license. We'll be able to join in with you. Yeah, I can.
I'll try and come in here and see if that's down again. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah, that's better. Ruth says hello as well. Let's see.
You can?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
I just think sit here and smile at each other.
Well, like I said before, you've got a beautiful smile. We can hear you all right. I think it's just the video fading in and out a little bit, but the sound seems to be fine. And the sunroof looks great, by the way, too. I love that. Can't beat that for extra lighting, can you? I'm not sure. I don't know whether you've faded out a little bit now. You were there. If anyone on the feed, just share. Can you hear me clearly? It's always a bit of a challenge. Don't worry, Sahara. It's always a challenge with technology around here. I swear, Spirit just takes on a whole new, concept of taking over the show sometimes. But can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So Francis put yes. Can't hear Sahara, I don't think. But let's see. I think it's just me talking, but let me know, guys. Okay, Sahara's frozen, now back. All right, she's disappeared. She might come back again. So with The Art of Self-Love, I'm going to talk about it till she gets back on. A really great book to add to your toolbox on the journey of self-loving. And we all know it is a journey. Like the destination, I believe, there's certainly parts of it that become easier as we delve deep into those aspects of ourselves that we discover that aren't so self-loving. I love, Sam, how you use the word take instead of receive. Swapping out for receive is making an energetic difference. I think we do have to use words that resonate with us. If we take on somebody else's wording and it doesn't resonate with us personally, that can be a bit of a blockage with bringing in all that we need. So, just little things like that, tweaking it, fine-tuning it. We all have different parts of us that that where we have resonance. So I think that's really important. And with Sahara's book, that's a big part of it. You've got tools here on there's so many. Parenthood is another one that's in here that I've read that's so helpful. And the exercises with every chapter has exercises. Yeah, you're in and out a bit, Sahara, still, I think. Yeah, Francis has suggested some cards so to follow on from the book. I don't think Sahara has cards yet, but maybe that could be something that she might look at doing. I love the chapter on magic too. She's back again. Yay, let's see if we can. Hello, you're back. Yay. I've just been chatting away because I do that naturally, very easy. Just seeing if we can get you back.
It's very different.
That's better. Francis suggested that we need some cards to go with your book. I don't know whether that's coming through.
Amazing, Tonia. Holding this together.
Don't worry. This is not the most challenging interview I've done. Don't worry. I'm always up for. We just roll with it here at Animal Dreaming. Versatility is our middle name. We've just got to hang in there.
Intuitively.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I was just chatting about how helpful your book is, like different aspects.
I was thinking about needs at the moment as driving down here. I don't know whether you can hear this, but we'll try. And certainly there's a lot of need to say because it is ramping up, particularly to the 21st of December, which is another gateway that we're going into. So it's really take lots of loving care of themselves at this moment, and even if only there I am, even that water bath or putting their feet on the earth, taking strong deep breaths. We need lots of at the moment to stay centered and grounded. That's what.
And I think it's this time of year that's such a common thing is that we. That's all right. You're fading in and out a little bit still, but I totally agree. It's often around Christmas time we do need that grounding and that extra, keeping things on track, isn't it? We'll just see whether we can get you back again. No, you're fading. Oh, back inside. Let's try it. Let me see. No, I think you're fading. Still not getting it clear.
I can.
No, it just doesn't want to quite. We're not getting it clear. Oh dear. Oh, the challenge of internet. There we go. Anyway, the show will go on. Okay. So there's different aspects of self-love, and there's a lot that are covered here in Sahara's book, and it's amazing how we just, for the most part of it, we'll practice something for a while, we go really great at it and it works really well, and then guess what, we stop doing it. So then all of a sudden we've stopped doing those practices because they are working, and then something happens and we get back on the horse again. So I think it's like Sahara was saying, it's a continual process of that self-love and remembering to, utilize the practices and the tools, but to continually do it and not just be hit and miss with it, which is, as humans, we can tend to be a little bit hit and miss with, with what we're doing. And sometimes we need to change things up. So I'm hoping I've got your back, Sahara, maybe. Maybe. Because it really is a great book. And, I highly recommend it for being, there's a lot of self-help books around, but there's some that you resonate with more than others. So what I found is it's very easy to read. It's one of those that you'll keep in your bookshelf because there's so many handy tools with it. And, really when we embrace self-love, it does make life easy. It does allow us to attract what we need into our lives. And, sometimes it's about honouring, ourselves and not putting everyone first. And I know for many of us, we do that. We put everyone, if we've got children or a partner or family that, we're helping out, we might be caring for, we fill ourselves up with doing for everybody else, but we don't allow that time or feel that we're worthy enough sometimes to have time out, or maybe we're just scared about spending time on our own. But, self-love is the answer to be able to live your fullest life, live a life on purpose, follow your heart and what it is that's within your soul. And, if there was no obstacles, what would you be doing? Like, what would be your ideal existence? And what is it that, you would take by the horns to go, yep, I'm going to own this and take off with it. So, these are questions that we really need to dig deep a little bit sometimes to see what that is. And, it might be, I want to be the best mum. I might be like Frances, the best rescue person to be able to be there and offer assistance to the animals. It might be that you want to be able to take your gift and do some amazing things with it. So for all of us, that driver can be different. But, for the most part of it, when we connect to that part of honouring who we are and, like Sahara said, saying no if we need to, or, saying yes to something that we really are passionate about that maybe we think, oh, well, if I say yes to that, what's my partner going to say? Or what about the kids? What about everybody else? Sometimes we need to say yes to others and, to honour that. I'm just seeing, just trying to get poor Sahara. Her son's, I believe, going for his license today. So that's why, with COVID, even though we've had this booked in for a while, you have to roll with things. So she's, been fitting that in around our interview. So she's done well to get this far, but I'm hoping I can get her back on. But it's not coming back up yet. But anyway, I'll just keep chatting because I have read the book and it is really great and there's some really great insights. And I was thinking I should read out one of the exercises. Let's have a look. Okay, crisis situation. What do we do? Now, this is a little bit relevant to what's happening to all of us now coming into Christmas after being in lockdown. For some of us are coming out. I'm trying to bring you back up, Sahara, but it doesn't want to work. Anyway, this is an example of some of the exercises that we have. Let's have a look, see if Sahara's going to come back on. I love this one. Try and laugh at yourself in situations. Imagine you watching your life on a sitcom and see the funny side of it. So sometimes we have to. It's a little bit like Sahara disappearing and appearing. I mean, that's part of my job. I get to do that with spirit when I connect to readings. So that's how Frances is like, I'm handling this well. Thank you, Frances. That's part of it. I am used to improv. So I'm just trying to find some really cool, there's so many cool exercises here. All right, here's one about a charmed life. So what's wrong in your life right now? write it down on a sheet of paper, place the paper in a bowl of water and send it out to sea in a river or a lake, or if you're lucky enough, Sam, who's by the beach, I know, say a prayer that it'll be taken to divine love, your higher self, your angels, or your guides. Then go and have a bath or shower, cleansing you of all the negative parts. So that's a really powerful one that we could all do. And I'm not really good. I've got a body. Are you back in, Sahara? So I'm sharing your insights here.
Hi, honey. Trying to sort of hear some of you doing an amazing job. My system keeps crashing down. So you're doing an amazing job reading it. Well done.
Well, they're just so great.
I trying to reconnect. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, that's a lovely idea. That's what I'm into. So, yeah, go right ahead. I'll just listen. I might be able to learn something.
I think we all could. And it's like, this is really fascinating. So many great exercises. Have you got us on the computer as well as your phone? Because there's a bit of an echo.
Just the whole thing, it's like, yeah.
We're in a wind tunnel. We're making the most of it.
I get to just, like when you want a connection, it's so funny, the analogy. When you want a connection and it's not happening, it's like taking a deep breath and going and see what happens. See what happens. I'm just, it is what it is. And you're right about the COVID thing. You just have to accept that you've. I'll throw a little tantrum later, believe me, and I have to eat some chocolate. That's what's going to have to happen for self-loving.
I love this though, but and it's funny. I opened this up to the need to control. And the looking at this is really fascinating. And looking at your diet, make sure that you're getting enough minerals and vitamins. Now, I've just written a book on sharing my story as part of a collaboration, and I actually shared the same thing. Magnesium, especially anyone connecting to spirit or doing mediumship like what I do, is really important. And I love that you've included that.
Yeah, it's so important because my background is naturally as well as other things, and forget about the body, particularly if we're like you and I are, we're connecting to the divine source all the time, or we're seeing beings that are unseen all the time. Get that actually you have to really look at your body and be in your body, and most of us don't like being in our bodies. That's part of the self-love thing. We have this discord with our bodies. So to be incredibly self-loving, as I've said, we've got to love the warts, the stretch marks, the lumps and bumps. There certainly are more of those with the amount of food that I was shoveling in. So it is about looking at our body and finding ways to do that, to calm our system down, to calm our whole being down, however that is. And I so and strongly, passionately believe everybody's different.
Yeah.
So someone might not work for someone else. It's about finding what is the best method and diet and whatever it is for you, because that's about self-loving as well, not continually shaming ourselves because everybody else is on a liquid diet and you're shoveling pasta into your mouth. It's about trying to find a way to balance it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, and I think too, energetically, it's like when you're eating, food and feeling guilty, well, that guilt is part of that, what you're swallowing, isn't it?
Totally is. The guilt factor is enormous. It's not it's not that guilt. It just keeps us. It's a very low. It's a very emotion actually. It's probably one of the low. Doesn't have a purpose at all. Doesn't do anything. It just is very keeps us stuck in that whole anti-love thing.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
important to give guilt the boot, really.
Yes, does nothing for the physical body, that's for sure.
Nothing for the physical body, that's for sure. Nothing. So, nothing for your brain, nothing for anything. It just, spirals you off further and further down into this, place that we don't need to be in anymore. It's not. It's,
Definitely. All right, well, I reckon we might wrap up because we have struggled a bit with the connection and being a bit echoey. But I will add your link in, Sahara, so people can jump on your website to connect with your book.
blessings. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, love that.
And thank you for sharing your wisdom. And I do apologise for the connection, but as we know, that sometimes just how it goes.
I think this is probably my side that the connection's faulty on. And thank you so much for your patience, and everyone that's listening. Thank you for your patience as we kind of found out that journey.
Absolutely. And thank you all for persevering on the show. We appreciate it. Sometimes we do have a bit of a connection, but that's how it goes. All right. Thanks, Sahara, for giving up some time in your day and sending love to your son doing his test.
To you, and have a beautiful, safe Christmas, you and everyone else. Take care.
You too. Bye for now.